not my kids, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm trying to pick out all of these just not necessary things. And there's quite a few, like from, the smoke in Pinocchio's pipe. Like, what's he smoking? Why is that shit green? I'm sorry. You cannot lie to me. Okay? You know what I mean? I'm looking at that stuff and I'm like, eee. Like, that's not something I want my kids to be viewing. Or, like, the fact that they're very aggressive. In some of the movies there, like, the terminology that they use, like, I forget what movie it was in specific, but it was something to the extent, like, I'm gonna stab you or I'm gonna slit your throat. And I was like, what? Like, nowadays we'd have, like, parents on the side of the road protesting if they put that into a movie. Like, have you guys seen Sausage Party? Oh my god, go home and watch Sausage Party right now. I have never laughed so hard in my entire life. That has to be the most corrupt cartoon I've ever viewed. It was like, it was like Jerry Springer mixed with VeggieTales. That's how bad it was. Okay, I'm taking these headphones off. I can't take it anymore. Okay, so yeah. VeggieTales mixed with Jerry Springer. That is something you cannot underestimate, okay? Because, like, honestly, I was looking at this movie and I'm like, this is great for something like me. But when it came out, I was convinced it was a children's movie, okay? I really actually thought it was. I was like, oh, great, look at this new movie. Oh, the kids are gonna love it, blah, blah, blah. And then I go and watch the trailer on YouTube. Thank Christ I watched the trailer before I walked my ass into a movie theater and stood in line to get the ticket. Because if I had actually gone through with my original plan, oh my god, I would have wasted time, gas, and money. It was just bad. I was like, oh god. It was totally my kind of humor, though. I watched the whole movie from beginning to end and, like, was completely into it. It was hilarious, but definitely not a children's movie, to say the least. So, there's a lot of, different stuff that I've seen that I've, not agreed with, but definitely the children's things nowadays is like no, my kids don't even really watch TV. Honestly, I'm not kidding you. I don't let them. They watch what I preview and that's it. So if I haven't seen it first, they're not seeing it second. Because I don't know. I'm just like, I'm an over square bear parent. I just have to be like on top of everything that they do, because if not, I just get freaked out. Like, I see some of these kids across the street, even, like, I live across the street from a townhouse, and they've got, lots of kids playing around there and stuff like that, and I'm just like, how? My son gets in trouble when he goes to the park, and I go there, and he's not there. Because, I'm the bubble mom. That's what I've always called myself, because it's better to be safe than sorry. You never know what's going on out there. 'Tis the season for treats. So, I promised you guys that we were going to do some holiday talk and stuff tonight. So, one of the biggest things I like to get into over the holidays are baking. How's the chocolate? I'm a fat kid. But, so, in terms of baking, there's a lot of different things that, over the years that I've tried that have worked and that have not worked. Whatever you do, don't add baking soda over the amount that you need when you're trying to make cookies. Last year, no, actually, it wasn't even that long ago. I think it was, near Easter. My daughter decided that she was going to help make peanut butter cookies, okay? So, we make peanut butter cookies.
Oh my god,
At some point when I turned my back, she decided that she was going to add some more baking soda, I suppose, because when I tasted it, my tongue was on fire, okay? So then I thought, I don't know, maybe it's just the dough, so I stuck it in and I cooked them anyway. Halfway through the cooking process, to go check the cookies to make sure they're okay, I go in and they're like a cake. Like, an entire cake. Like, the whole cookie tray was like one big giant cookie cake. It was bad. I was like, holy crap. I was like, well, something went wrong there. And then Carmela openly admitted that she had stuck more baking soda than she needed to into there. So I was like, oh, well, that makes sense. So don't ever mess up with baking soda. It really screws things up. That was one of the biggest things that I had learned. I was like, holy crap, look at the size of that. Carmela was like, yay, cookie cake. Like, no, can't eat that. It was like all mushy. You could just pop it like a balloon. I was like, what is going on? But we'd also done a bunch of, one of our biggest favorites are peanut butter rolls. I don't know if you've ever eaten peanut butter balls. If you haven't, you live under a rock. Peanut butter balls are like these little chocolate covered peanut butter balls. That's what they are. They're just peanut butter in a ball covered in chocolate. And you put flour with the peanut butter and it turns into like a cookie kind of thing on the inside. It's more just like a gooey chunk of peanut butter really, but it's supposed to taste almost like a cookie dough. And then you cover it in chocolate. So those are one of our favorites. And Carmela really likes to make handmade gingerbread cookies. Those are fun. We usually do a lot of different, like, sugar cookies with the different sprinkles. The year before last, I made these really cool brownies. They were like, it was like a brownie cake, I guess, in a sense. And I had covered it in white vanilla chocolate. And it was all like candy cane crumble on the top of it. So it was really good. Honestly, it was probably one of the better things that I've made that I haven't tried before kind of thing, right? It was one of those just like explore recipes. I'm going to post all these recipes on my page afterwards too. So if you guys want to check this stuff out, it's a lot of it's really, really simple stuff. And it doesn't take a lot of ingredients either. It's all do it yourself from scratch kind of recipes. So I'll post all this stuff on the page afterwards, and I'll post it on the website also. So another one that we were really, really a big fan of, I made these, they're called cake pops, and they were candy cane chocolate cake pops. So I made, they're kind of like a Timbit. So you take just a regular box of cake, like, those by the box cakes. You just buy one of those, put it into a thing, add, I think it's eggs, and flour and something else, and you just crunch them all up into a ball. You just put them in the fridge with a shish kebab stick in it, and then you dip them in chocolate. And they all just harden once you put them in the fridge, and then you can dip them again in candy canes. And yeah, they're really fun. The kids love them. They're really, really, like, low mess. They're, kind of carry around on a stick. They don't really crumble or any of that stuff. So those are fun for the kids. The kids love those. The other thing that we had done was this, it was like a swirly sugar cookie. So we had done 3 different color cookies. We had gotten different, here I am smacking my mic. We had gotten different doughs. That's Italian, I was just talking with our hands. We had made 3 different kinds of sugar cookie dough. So it was all just plain sugar cookie dough. And then we had food colored one in red and food colored another in green. And then we smushed all 3 on top and then rolled them and cut them that way. So that was really fun. The kids liked those. They kind of looked like a wheel. And then we had done they were all covered in the silver sprinkles. We had done star-shaped ones and a whole bunch of other stuff like that. The other thing that Carmela really, really liked, we had done they're like Twix bars. So you get, I think it's graham crackers. You smash those up and you put them on the bottom layer. And then you do a caramel layer in the middle, and then the top layer is something else. I can't remember off the top of my head. But they're really, really good. They're, like, in comparison, they taste like a Twix bar, and they're awesome. They're, like, kind of just take it to go little squares and stuff like that. So they're great for cookie baskets or cookie tins. People give out all those cookies for Christmas and stuff like that. So a lot of these ideas, they'll be really great for quick and pretty looking Christmas cookies, right? Because, people go all out with the decorations and stuff for Christmas cookies. I find it's more just the look of them and the show more than anything that people really like to get going on. So that's one of these things that I like pretty food. That's one of my biggest things, when I see people posting their food online from restaurants and stuff, and it's like presentation. Presentation is what I look for, right? And a lot of these places are really great lately. I've seen a lot of great presentation with food lately. And I find that's something that's becoming more and more common too, right? So there's a lot of different nut-free recipes and stuff too, because everyone is cautious about nut allergies nowadays. There's a lot of people with them, so we've got to be careful. And a lot of people use, pecans and almonds during this, time of year and stuff. So everyone be careful. Be nut-free if you can. A lot of the times it's hard, but I've gotten pretty used to living nut-free, except for in my own home, right? We use peanut butter and stuff here, but my kids can't take anything to school with nuts, a lot of times eggs, even fish. There's a cheese and dairy allergy also in their schools, so there's a few different things that we really have to shy away from. So it's amazing what you can live off of. Honestly, I'm like, I feel so bad for those children and their parents sometimes, because I think about like how hard it is to feed my kids with all the food that they can eat. I couldn't imagine having to eliminate half their diet and then still trying to feed them. Oh my God, my kids would wither away. Like, honestly, my kids are great eaters, don't get me wrong, but they're more or less like, they're picky because they want to be. And I'm just like, why do you do this? Like, I don't understand why, you know, you can't just eat what's on your plate. Like, when I was a kid, honestly, if I didn't eat what was on my plate, I slept at the table until I was going to eat. And there was mornings I woke up at the table. I'm not gonna lie, honestly. And it was like one of those things that I really, you know, I just really didn't like the food, and I really didn't even mean to fall asleep, and my mom just didn't let me leave. Whereas now I'm like too easy on my kids. I think about it and I'm like, I should have just made them stay. Like, all the food they waste, honestly. Like, that's probably the biggest lesson I want to teach my kids. I think this year I'm going to set them up at, like, I'm going to say, I don't know, either a homeless shelter or some sort of food handout for Christmas, because I think that they're far too ungrateful for their food. Honestly, I cook, and I cook long time some nights, and it's, you know, it's insulting when I'm like, here, you know, dinner's ready, come on guys, time to eat, and they sit down for like 5 seconds and are like, and then they start talking, and then all of a sudden the food's not so appealing, and then by that point it's cold and they don't want to eat it anymore. And I'm just like, okay, well, why did I just spend 3 hours making food? Nobody gave a shit anyway. I should have just fed them Kraft dinner. They would have been happier with it probably too. You know? Sometimes I'm like, I do too much. Like, lately I'm like on mom strike when it comes to cleaning their rooms. I'm not doing it anymore. I quit. They are far too old for me to be babying them that way. And I'm like, I am your mother, not your maid. I'm not doing it anymore. Honest to God. Like, my kids are not like overly like messy, but sometimes they get to like a point where they just don't realize how much of a mess they're like standing around. And I'm like, okay guys, take a step back. Nobody's going outside or anywhere for that matter. It's Tyler there walking by. Where are you going? But yeah, so, you know, they don't realize how much of a mess they make sometimes, and I'm just like, oh my God, he's always got to crash my stuff. He's like that. Have you seen that couple online, guys? Jacob, are those Batman, Jacob? That one girl, she's like, the guy comes over, he's in his Batman underwear, and he's trying to hump her arm. That was hilarious. I always refer to that when I have him.
Don't give me any ideas.
Don't even start. Don't even start. God, it makes me lose my train of thought. So, I typically, like, I honestly, I'm always kind of go with the flow on this show and stuff, so I drift up onto topics and stuff, so I'm sorry if I'm confusing you guys. It's nice to be able to just, I don't know, I like having a mixed topic show for that reason, because I get to kind of, you know, go from topic to topic and discuss different options and different, you know, opportunities and events and stuff like that. I'm not really restricted to anything of that extent, right? So, I'm sorry if I you know, go all over the place on different topics some nights, guys, but I, you know, there's a lot of things that I like to talk about and cover, and there's a lot of really great things that are going on that I like to share with everybody too, you know? I know that, our news show, the Magoo's News, has taken some time off, but they'll be back tomorrow. So we're going to be having that back up and going. And then we've also got our comedy show that'll be going also. I know that Garcia, who is doing Not Your Average Doorman, he'll be launching sometime in the next 2 weeks. So I know that we keep postponing this show, guys, but it's going to be well worth the wait. Right? Garcia, if you're watching, I just seen you like something. If you're watching, this show's well worth it. Definitely. So we're going to be launching that soon. That's coming, and we'll have a good date and a good set date for you guys soon. I don't want to keep promising anything, so I keep telling you, you know, a time frame, but not an exact date. So that will be a fun show, guys. Don't forget to check that out too. If you haven't even, you know, checked it out yet, go take a look at the website. All the information is kind of there for what the show is going to be about. And anybody who's interested in sponsoring any of these shows, please let me know. We're always looking for sponsors. There's a lot of really great advertisement opportunities with our show and stuff. So We've got 11 different talk shows